Kia ora and welcome to Recycling Week's Rethink sessions, quick bite sessions for identifying opportunities to waste less. As is our podcast style, feel free to just listen in or you can watch the conversations unfold. I'm Inga, the Sustainability Manager here at Reclaim, the creators behind New Zealand's Recycling Week, the largest nationwide campaign helping individuals and organisations just like yourself take simple, meaningful steps toward reducing waste. It's Waste Free Tuesday, and today we are joined by sports commentator and podcast host Finn Caddie. Finn, did you want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for having me, first and foremost. I am a broadcaster. Well, I like to think I'm a broadcaster, at least. I have worked in radio. I am now a sports commentator, a sports podcaster, and mainly cover off anything in the world of sport when it comes to media. And that's what I do. I've got some experience in ground emceeing and that kind of thing as well. But radio is my thing. I've worked on Radio Hauraki for a few years, doing a show there with a guy called Jeremy Wells, and then recently moved to the Alternative Commentary Collective to start commentating and discussing sport a bit more. So yeah, that's what I do.
Cool, very exciting. Thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to talk about opportunities to minimise waste.
No, that's the least I can do. I've got all the time in the world for this kind of thing, mate.
I'll kick us off with my first question, which is, how has the way you think about waste and recycling changed for you over the years?
This is a good question. I think it's probably a bit of a bell curve for anything, mate. Like it started as a kid, being encouraged by parents to take it quite seriously. You understand? You were never really told why, but you are told that this is a thing that you should care about, and it's a thing of process. And my parents are very good at making sure that I followed those processes. But then I think maybe like a lot of people, or maybe not, I don't know, late teens and then early university, your values loosen slightly in more ways than one.
Yeah, they change. Priorities change.
Yeah, that's right. And you let other things start creeping in, and you hear things, like everything ends up in the same place anyway, and that kind of thought process starts taking over. And then by the time I turned about 23, 24, and maybe it's due to the involvement of Tim Simpkins in my life, but I definitely started picking it up again. And I think and I'm now probably at a point where I care about it more than I ever have, or at least as much as I did as a kid. So yeah, that's kind of my journey along. When I think about it in context of my life and how big of a part it's played, as a kid, a lot, as a teenager, not a lot, and now for sure it is something that I realized that I should be taking responsibility over,
Yeah. I mean, when we're younger, we have less responsibility. So it's kind of nice to have that, I suppose, sense of responsibility and feel a bit more like an adult.
And I think you also realize as well, like you've got to, I think now as being 26, it's like, well, hang on, I've got to start thinking about what I'm leaving behind, and maybe we'll talk about it later on. But a country like ours, I think that's why recycling is now a priority for me, is because I want to make sure that I can leave, something positive behind later on for those to have, childhoods and stuff like that I was able to have,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we want people to be able to experience what we had in the good old days.
Yeah, exactly. Not that were that long ago, I suppose, but yeah.
No. feels like ages now. So then, on that topic, what does waste minimisation look like for you from a day-to-day, or how do you fit it in around your lifestyle?
Yeah, well, focusing on the second part of that question, how I fit it in around my life. So I've noticed that humans, over the last 26 years of my life are inherently lazy, aren't they, really? Like
Convenient.
Yeah, convenience trumps everything.
Yeah.
And once you allow yourself to realize that, I think it's quite a healthy acknowledgement to make, because then you start thinking, oh, hang on, maybe I could use that and make the most of that in this world. Like, it's amazing, how things as small as, and I'm sure we'll come back to this later on, as small as having your bins in convenient areas and things set up the way that you need them to be encourages that type of thing.
Lowering that barrier to entry kind of.
Yeah, exactly. I know this when, things
maybe
aren't
we
easy.
use them more.
Yeah, that's right. And when things aren't easy, you create excuses for you and your family or your partner or whatever to have a reason to not put things where they belong. And that's when standards slip. So, I mean, it's a relatively short answer, isn't it? But I think that's how it fits into my life now. It's a thing that we definitely think about, and it's been a priority for us to make it as convenient as possible so that it can remain a priority for us and my partner and people in my life.
Yeah. We need to make it the norm, kind of.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, yeah, because that's right. Quite often you go, oh shit, geez, look at me. I'm putting
I'm
these
an
soft plastics
outstanding
in the right place.
citizen. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's what's supposed to happen. That has
Yeah.
been something that we've been trying to do as well. Like obviously giving yourself a pat on the back if you're making progress, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like this should be the standard. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I like that. Great answer. So, talking about New Zealand as well, so we often call ourselves a clean green country. Does that, or what does that mean to you personally? And do you think we're still living up to it?
Oh, interesting question. Yeah, I mean, living up to it is one thing, and then being it is another. I think that's definitely a brand that we've been slapped with, and I think that we've still got it.
Mm.
And as a kid, that is something that I think schools do a really good job of,
Yeah.
is making you aware of the fact that our country is different in this way, and this is something that is unique to us, and how clean and how green it is something that not everyone has. And obviously, when you say clean and green, I think of mountains, beaches, and native bush, and
Yeah. Yeah.
perhaps I am an optimist, but I believe that
Pure
there are
New
still
Zealand. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm being too optimistic, but I still believe that there's definitely a cultural pride in being that. So I think
Mm.
therefore there is a motivation and a realization that people should be focusing on that, because actually it's about all we've got. And I know that might even be a slightly pessimistic way to look at our country. I think our country is amazing, but that is what we are. We are clean and we're green, and I think that most people understand that. And I think if it comes down to it, then that is resulting in most people trying to live up
Yeah.
to that. Yeah.
Yeah, like a big part of our tourism is like people coming and seeing the natural wonders, like you say, the
Yeah.
mountains, the
Yeah,
streams,
that's
the
right.
rivers, etc.
And I suppose, I mean, I don't want you to think that I'm as naive to realize that I'm sure not, more can't be done. But I think, I think Kiwis are definitely realizing that is us, and that's what we should be proud of. And
Mm.
that's what is amazing. And I mean, for example, right now, me and my partner are looking at traveling overseas to Vietnam, and the amount of comments that we're getting from people back here about rubbish and stuff like this. And it's like, these things are so standard over there. And I think when people travel and see other places, really quite often I'll come
Yeah,
back from an overseas trip and be like, oh, mate, let's keep pushing this, because there's a big difference between what
exactly.
we've got here and what is elsewhere. And we don't want to let our
Yeah,
standards slip so much that we end up in a position where you've got bottles being washed up on beautiful northern beaches.
because in countries, I don't know, I can't remember, Vietnam's quite the same, but yeah, countries where like even just taking clean water for granted here.
Yeah.
It isn't a thing in some countries, so single-use water bottles build up and become a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where we bring
right.
in our reusable bottles and just find refill stations or something if they exist.
Yeah. Well, that's right. No, that's exactly right. But I think,
Yeah.
I think that clean green New Zealand thing is at times obviously, in danger, but I do believe that is still us, and that will forever be us. I hope
Yeah.
anyway. I hope that's the case.
Yeah, and I like what you're saying about if you're going overseas and stuff, or you might take something for granted here, and then you go overseas and you see just kind of how good we have it in some cases, and also then encouraging that staying on that track of keeping it clean and green because we can.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we can, and that's right. And it's a hell of a lot easier to hear than it seems anywhere else. And obviously,
yeah, exactly.
often, comparisons to the thief of joy, but in that situation, it feels very much like, oh, hang on, this is quite humbling to see how the people are doing these things, and how different we are. So I think that clean green thing should, and I hope, stay around for a very long time. Yeah, we're pretty lucky in that sense.
Part of the Kiwi identity, part of the Aotearoa identity. So
It really is that way. And then like everything we do as well is so relying on having these facilities and being clean, like from sport to, just everything. The way that we like to move, and the way we like to keep active as a nation for the most part, and in a way we like to hunt and all these types of things. That is because we are probably clean and green, and I hope that we don't let ourselves down on that front, because so much of what we do is in a result of being able to be clean and green. That makes sense? It sounded like something when I said it, but I don't know how real that is.
Yeah, now I get where you're coming from. No, yeah, definitely. We've got to keep that identity running in the background on top of everything else that we do. So here's a more fun question for you, maybe. If your recycling bin could talk, what would it say about you?
Oh, beers again, really? No, I don't know. What would my recycling bin say about me?
You're doing a great job, or
it would be
You're
like, geez,
feeding me, you're giving me a bad diet or something.
yeah, you're filling me up pretty quick is probably something that my household
Bull, please stop. No.
would start with. Yeah, no. If it was being brutally honest, it would probably get a little bit pissy about the fact that I don't fold up cardboard boxes as flat as I should. Maybe, yeah, that would probably be if he was being honest. He'd be like, no, you're doing an all right job here, fella. But I think there's some issues around space efficiency and how you're filling me out. I think that's what he'd have to say. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's a fun question. I like the idea of that. Now, every time I look at my recycling bin because of you,
what
mate,
would you think if I put that?
I'm going to think, what are you thinking? Exactly.
So here in New Zealand and elsewhere, but it's a big part of New Zealand's waste, food waste. It's a huge issue.
Right.
So would you say you're more of a creative leftovers chef, or do you think that you've had some very tragic fridge clean-outs?
I'm stoked with this question because in the first, and look, my partner would probably say it's down to the fact that I'm a little bit tight when it comes to money, and also because I have a fairly underdeveloped palate. I grew up in North Canterbury and I'm pretty used to, potatoes, meat, and veg every day. So I can throw together a sausage, a couple bits of broccoli, and some cucumber, and I'm happy with that. But no, I'm glad you've asked me that because that is something that I definitely do. I've got to be honest, I'm not sure if it's out of the fact that I don't want to throw food. No, it is because I don't want to throw food out. Yeah. To the point where I actually probably hold on to a few things too long. I'm looking at, if I'm thinking of the condiments in my fridge, there's probably a few bottles of mustard that have been sitting in there for about the best part of the last 4 years. But no, I'm happy with that. And thank you for asking me that question. Yeah, no, everything in my house definitely gets eaten, even when it shouldn't. I think that's fair to say.
Some tragic leftover recreations or something.
I've got no issues with it, hey. And it actually, to be fair, if anything, drives the other half insane because she's like, geez, we can't be having that type of dinner. Well, look, it's what we've got now.
So what we've got, and we're not chucking it away.
And now again, I'm glad that it's been a benefit of the country because I didn't realize until you asked me that question that it is something that is one of the bigger issues that we've got around. Recycling versus food waste.
I think household waste, food waste is a massive.
And is that just people? Right. Yeah. No. Actually, to be fair, I understand that, but then I feed my bread, so I can. I'm gonna pay on that note. Is that people just binning leftovers, as in just taking it out? Well, not even leftovers, but like just food, whatever they've done. If that's overserve, and then they're just scraping it into the bin. But is that what really the issue is? Is just food to bin?
I think it's also like overbuying or not planning meals correctly. So then you buy produce, and produce obviously goes off, fresh produce, it goes off faster than some products or frozen, obviously. Just not getting to that in time, or, once you do, it's too late already. It's already gone moldy, or not knowing which foods you can freeze, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I'm also in a position. Sorry.
I'm in the same boat as you. Don't like throwing out food, so.
Yeah, and I think it's also a lot to do with financial reasons as well, isn't it? But
groceries are expensive enough as they are. We don't want to go throwing that away. So
no, but that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Someone then with a public platform and as you are on radio, so you've got that voice out there. How do you think celebrities and public figures can play a role in shifting attitudes about waste and waste minimisation?
Yeah, I mean, this is another good question. I think what is hard about the message that you guys are trying to push and what Recycling Week is trying to push is that you've got a situation where you can sound a little bit preachy without meaning to, and it's not something New Zealanders are great at, is being told what to do. For some reason, we suck at it, and we've always stuck at it. And I think that is where people with especially public, like celebrities are celebrities, whatever. That's probably something you'd have to ask a real celebrity that question. But with public figures and people that are able to, share a little bit of a message or able to kind of think about things a bit differently, I think the main one is that creatives and public figures in my world and media have the ability to influence using storytelling rather than just telling. Like as in making an issue relatable rather than preachy is something that we're able to do. And I think I have seen people do that. I can't think of any, names to list off the top of my head, but that would be something that I've seen in the world of media for sure.
Yeah.
And, as little as sharing your own sustainable habits or whatever, and partnering with brands or companies that, encourage certain, aspects of the world of recycling or whatever. That's, I think, probably what public figures can do best. Make it relatable, not preachy, to summarize that point.
Yeah. I like your storytelling point. Yeah. I feel like New Zealand's quite responsive. Like, we love a good story and making it like conversational, as you say, not preachy. Just, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You reckon it's good, or you doing anything similar, or I'm trying out this new thing, or
Yeah, exactly. And I will never not be amazed at how awful we are at being told that what we're doing is wrong. Like, we've got quite a fast twitch response to that. As Kiwis as a whole, and lots of people are better than this, and I totally get that. And maybe this is a bigger reflection on me as a person than it is on anyone else. But for some reason, if we're doing something that we think is right, and then someone comes along and says, "Hey, look, great work on trying this, but it's not quite right. Change to this." We don't really have an ability to take that well, and I think that is something that the people in the media are able to portray a little bit better than friends and family even, I'm not quite sure how to put words to that, but I think that's probably our place for sure in this conversation.
Yeah, not getting defensive or taking it all as critique, just taking it as your mate showing you or teaching you something new,
Yeah.
Don't want to stop learning anyway. It's when our brains, what is it? Use it or lose it. So we should take it as always improving ourselves. None of us are perfect, so that's, I suppose, something as well. And as you say, don't want to come across preachy. Just, I know a good way is, I sometimes, I'll get that wrong, but I've learned the other day that this is actually how you do it. Maybe like that type of approach.
Yeah, well, that's right. And I don't want to ever discourage anyone of being preachy. I think we need those people to be shouting things from the rooftop.
Yeah.
You need those extremists, but at the same time, it's not that effective, especially in NZ. So it's nice to be able to have people like celebrities and public figures that are just, opening up the conversation and making it a little bit more relatable than preachy, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like when the experts are talking about whatever, that's kind of what we're trying to aim at as well with these Rethink sessions, is having more conversations in the space to see that it's doable for your everyday Joe kind of thing. We're all in this together. It's not just people in the waste minimisation or experts in this space that are doing it. We want everybody to try to do something versus just a few experts or whatever trying to do everything and then losing their minds and burning out because nobody's listening to them because they don't want to be preached at.
Yeah, that's right. And understanding that people that maybe, you'll know this better than I do, but maybe getting everyone to realise that it's a spectrum rather than just a right and a wrong, and that people can fall anywhere on it, and you can always slide further up it if you're keen to listen to people that want to discuss it, for sure. Yeah.
100%. Oh, yeah. I agree. From your perspective or a community perspective then, or maybe like your friends or family or mates, what's the most confusing thing about waste or recycling for you or your friends or family that Recycling Week, you reckon, could help with?
Oh, okay. There's a couple. And I know I made
just getting ideas for next year. No.
Yeah, no. I feel bad about answering this in such an almost blunt way, and almost I feel like at the same time it's going to be quite hard to achieve. But the different regions having different recycling is different recycling practices.
Like like allowances for what can go on their bin type of thing.
Yeah, it is a little tough. And if I could, if you were given, like you've just given me the option to change anything overnight, that would be it. If I'm being 100% honest, is that I could talk to the same person down south about, these things, and we'd all be on the same page, and I could call mum up and then I could pass it on to my mate. And he could, but
it doesn't have to be that's not how it's done here.
Yeah. And I understand that that's not how it's going to be able to work. But if I was able to change something overnight with the snap of the fingers, I think that would be something that I'd look at pretty seriously.
Yeah, because snap our fingers, and because I think the main reason is infrastructure. We're a little country and we don't have. That's why we can't recycle everything, because obviously if we had enough of everything, we'd be able to. But that is, I agree as well. If we could somehow get it to be cohesive across the country, things would be a lot simpler. Recycling would be a bit easier.
Yeah, well, that's right. Because unfortunately, you're in a position, aren't you, where you've now got to, there's not a, you're not able to push a single message or anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's tough. Like, we were up at Pioneers Batch over the weekend in a similar situation. You've got I'm not going to exaggerate. you've just got 4. I was going to say 14, but you've only just got 4. But there's 4 different bins for different things, and
the bottles and then the
yeah, so you got glass, and then you got
and the
plastics, and then the cans separate, and then you got cardboard and a certain thing, and all this stuff. And look, we do it again. Maybe it's because of the family involvement in recycling, and we now understand the importance of it. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like there's a few barriers to entry there for the average Joe.
Yeah.
And you like to think that everyone's pretty keen to be able to, take a bit of initiative and search things up and look into things. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. Society moves as slow as the
convenient.
Yeah.
Just this is what we should be doing. Not, oh, look at me. Watch me, guys. I've put this in the right bin.
Yeah, this is not extracurricular. This is just, this is living. Yeah.
So then, looking back at your own personal habits, what's been the most surprising thing you've learned about waste and recycling that then shifted your perspective? I'm sure there's been a few with Tim.
Go on. Yeah, there is. Yeah, no, there has been. And I think the main shift has been actually realising that recycling is not everything that happens this side of the... Yeah, that recycling is everything this side of the bin, I didn't really think about the processes. How do I word this effectively? Yeah, it's not just about it's just not about what goes in what bins. It's about understanding that this is now something that we want to make the norm and trying to implement it as I don't know.
I suppose also understanding not just what goes in the right bin, but also what happens when you put it in the wrong bin kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's also another part. And I suppose it actually comes back to a question you asked earlier about during recycling week, what is something that you'd maybe like to know? Or was that how that question went? I think it was along those lines.
And that we could
I think
help people with.
That would be definitely something as well, is somehow being able to inform people what actually goes on after, what are the effects post-bin? Because I think I alluded to it in my intro, and I think you talked about it a bit, but there's that stigma around everything ends up in the same place anyway, or it all ends up in the ground anyway. And I think that people haven't, for some reason, realised or been informed or haven't gone out of their way to find out about exactly what happens post-bin. I think that would be something, but that doesn't really ask your question that you've just asked. It's just brought up another thought from a previous question. So do you mind asking me that question one more time? And I'll see if I can come up with an answer for you.
Looking back at your own habits, what's been the most surprising thing you've learned about waste or recycling that shifted your perspective?
That's right. Okay.
The big one.
Yeah. No. And I think it would be just understanding and accepting that I've got to make this as easy for myself as possible. And that's what's then going to build consistency. And then that's what's going to eventually turn it into a habit. It's not just about going up to the right bins and putting things in them. It's about building a bit of a lifestyle around that to make sure that is as easy as possible, and then doesn't feel like, again, what we've been talking about pretty much for the last 25 minutes, extracurricular,
Yeah, making it, forming the habit so that it's just part of your day, every day kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think when I think of recycling and binning and that type of thing, it's very much just the motion of opening up that drawer and then putting that in there, or opening up that food scrap bin and putting that in there. But it's not. It's about everything before that. And then even further back than that, looking at, when you're buying things from the supermarket, how can I make sure that I can make my life easier in that way? How can I just get
the carrots in the plastic bag versus the loose carrots in a paper bag or a reusable bag. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. So that would be something, and that would probably be the biggest reflection of this, is if I can, look to bring in a few extra steps in my life prior to the part where you're just putting plastic in recycling bins. It would be that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, yeah, that definitely makes sense. And that's on recycling week, we try to focus on the top of the waste hierarchy, which is rethinking your purchasing decisions, as you've said. Also, Christmas is coming up, so we've got, people think maybe more sustainably, or just give it a second thought kind of thing about your gifts. Do you need the plastic toy that's in the plastic wrapping twice the size of the toy, or buy a loose toy?
And quite often that answer is no. If you're able to get that question, if you're able to ask yourself that question, then you're almost going to make the right decision, I think, 99% of the time. Yeah. I think most people are like that.
I suppose not just building the habit, building that little voice in your head that gives you the second thought, or makes you think twice or consider.
And then you're
ahead.
you're ahead of the game, and you don't have to worry about how am I going to get rid of this toy 8 years from now, or how am I going to have to get rid of plastic when I'm home. And I know that's a long way down the road, and you're playing the long game there, but these things matter, right? So
well, the more of us thinking like that, the less we'll need bins.
Yeah, too right.
And we won't have to think about what goes in them because we won't have the thing that needs to go in them. So
yeah, well said.
Okay, I'll ask you our final question, which is, during Recycling Week, we encourage people to identify an opportunity or opportunities to minimise waste and then make a pledge to do something different going forward. So what would your Recycling Week pledge be?
It's funny. So funny you ask this, because as we were discussing that last question, we talked about when you buy things from the supermarket, how can you, or buy whatever, how can you cut back on things like soft plastics, especially as obviously probably a bit of a buzzword in your world right now, or a buzz phrase. But like, how can we were talking about soft plastics, and I was thinking, how can we eliminate those before we have to deal with them and put them in bins or whatever and dispose of them ourselves? I was going to ask you, how possible do you think it is to do the Recycling Week without any soft plastics or something like that? Because that was something that I was trying to think of. Yeah, 1 week surely is doable. And then all of a sudden you've done it for 1 week and you go, hang on, maybe I can do this again. But I'd quite like to do that. There's also two couches / chairs that I need to reupholster. And I've been wanting to dump them for a long time. And when I found out you were going to ask me this question, I was like, hang on, maybe I should get on to upcycling these things, because I was just going to buy another set anyway. And I hate to admit that I was planning to take them to the dump.
Hey, you'll build a new skill too.
Well, there you go. That's right.
Maybe you'll do them so good you can sell them for a profit. No.
Well, I mean, that would be the dream. That would be the dream. All of a sudden, I'm now taking on the profession of upcycling. It does sound something like that. It does sound like something I'd do. But yeah, that was good. That was my thought. Is me and my partner were going to do a week of no soft plastics, and I think we can get there on that. And then I'd hope that can kind of carry on after that as well. But it reminded me of like the 40-hour family as a kid. You know how you'd do things for 40 hours or whatever, and it would almost gamify it, and that kind of thing works for me. So I don't know, is that too easy? I mean, maybe I'm embarrassed to say that I feel like I've still got a few soft plastics in my life, but now I actually think about it, a week does seem pretty light. Like, I feel like I could do more than that. What do you reckon?
Well, you can let us know how the week goes, and then
I might be reaching out day 2 and going, oh, hang on, this is a disaster.
See if I can get some people on board here as well.
No, but that's what I'm thinking. For Recycling Week here in New Zealand, I'm going to make sure that I don't use a single piece of soft plastic.
Both the difficulty will be, how much do you love potato crisps?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I reckon I can get around that.
Potato chip, chocolate.
Yeah, but then the issue is they're going to be like that. So 2 days after. Yeah, I'll be healthier, for sure. You're right, but 2 days after, when I go, hang on, I haven't had any kind of confectionery in the last week, I'd be pretty keen to tuck in. I might end up undoing all the work that I've done. But no, I'll make sure that doesn't have to. So there you go.
Yeah, 7 days. Don't just after the week then go buy a big
yeah.
Like, I've earned this.
Yeah.
Do the whole
But, so that's where I'm at. I mean, you've talked to other people. What have you heard any other good ones?
Yeah, we've got I think one was create like no food waste or something. And we've had
that's another good one.
Yeah, well, that's a good one for you, because it sounds like you're already pretty good at it.
Yeah, well, I was.
So maybe it's too easy then.
Yeah, well, I thought that was too easy, to be honest. I did. But then, I mean, I could expand that to my, entire household, because then I think we'd be in a bit of trouble. But then, that causes
Yeah, when you've got to get other people on board as well, and they're like...
Yeah. But maybe that's the least I could do for Recycling Week. But I think let's stick with that for now. So there's someone out there that's going no food waste. That's quite good, though. For a whole week, that is tough. Does that also mean, again, back to the chips?
Got to plan ahead.
If you open up a bag of chips, you have to eat all the chips. Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Okay. Maybe
I'll wait to hear how that goes, and I'll try to get people on board here. I feel like we can, at least a few of us will be able to achieve that.
No, that's good. Any other purchases that you can remember, or do you think it's mainly, is it mainly people doing what I'm doing, like trying to take the week of Recycling Week and eliminate something or do something better in that time?
Yeah, we've got like activities as well that we suggest. Like, one is to take away your landfill bin in the office or something, or even at home. But that's obviously quite hard.
Yeah, no,
or at home.
Yeah,
reusable or something, like only use a reusable cup, never get any takeaway cups when you're going to coffee or something.
Yeah, I reckon I can do that. That one I'm probably already doing, to be fair. Not so Look at me bragging about my.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. One more person on our team. Good.
Yo, okay, great. I think it used to be fair at NZME, which is where I work 5 days a week. I believe, I mean, this is maybe something you don't want to keep in the podcast, or maybe you do. Hey, who knows? But we are with you guys Reclaim, and I believe there is a slow but steady movement to remove landfill bins here one at a time.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I know that's obviously nothing to do with you guys. You just deal with our recycling, but that is something that I know is going on here. So maybe if I come back this time next year for another recycling week debrief, then I'll keep you posted on whether or not we have any landfill bins left. But I don't think we're going to.
Oh, yeah. That'll be great intel. We can use you as a good case study. Well, they can do it. They can do it.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't know how well it will go. I know there's not. I mean, a lot of rubbish around. It's just lunch breaks. That's all it is. People eating food, taking lunches, eh?
Yeah, that's the other thing, yeah. Bringing like containers, reusable containers or something for if you're going up for sushi or something, and you use that instead of the plastic clam shell type things that they've got. So just avoiding single use, I suppose.
Do you have one of those avocado preservers? Do you avocado?
I've got a lemon one, not avocado.
A lemon one? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No, I saw someone the other day here at work with a avocado one, and I was like, hang on, I've got to get myself one of those. So you've got, you've seen like people glad wrap the avo. Obviously, you're not gonna like that.
True, it's reusable, so it's better. I always also just squeeze a bit of lemon on the avo so that it doesn't go brown. Also works.
Oh, is that a trick as well, is it?
Yeah, because I think it stops it from oxidizing or something.
Oh, wow, there you go.
Don't know the scientific details.
Yeah, no, that's
if you don't like lemon on your avocado, though, then maybe don't.
Yeah, that is going to be an issue. Yeah, that is going to be an issue for you. But yeah, so someone with like a container that you put half the avo. You know how when you
and it's got like the pip on it, so like perfectly. Yeah, I've seen
perfectly. It was so satisfying to watch. Yeah, I don't know how. Maybe
I feel like it has to be sealed really well, but if you cut your avocado straight, surely.
Yeah, which to be fair, I don't. But geez, how good does that feel when you cut around that avocado perfect? Anyway,
you can probably just put it in a sealed container. I think it's just the oxygen that makes it go brown.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, even if you just put it face down on a flat surface, I suppose.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I usually do at home, just that or the lemon juice trick. But
and then you eat it the next day anyway, and it's not even that bad. So
you don't want to leave that too long anyway.
Maybe I'm gonna. Okay, maybe you've talked me out of that container, and that's for the best because that's plastic we don't need to buy.
Consumerism.
Yeah,
one more tip for recycling week. No.
I feel like we're also in a situation now. I was just having to think back over the last half hour, and I'm realizing that I don't know if I've actually given you anything here. But anyway, that was a little bit of an insight into what this average Joe gets up to when he is dealing with his waste.
Yeah. No, there's heaps more activities on the hub as well if you want even more inspiration for what to do.
Oh, yeah. I've been told all about the hub. Well, no, all good, mate. Do you want to... Is that all? Is that all we have?
I've got one more thing.
Eh? Oh, yep.
The bin it to win it game.
Oh!
How do you think that's going to go?
Yeah, okay. I'm stressed about this, mate, because I saw...
Roll up the sleeve.
I saw when you sent an email discussing this podcast, I saw this come up. I thought, shit. And then I thought about cramming, a bit of last minute.
I did wonder that's why I did not give you the examples we'll be using, because no cheating. So those are not going to be in it.
So just to clarify, you're going to give me 5 bits of
rubbish,
yeah,
waste.
and then I'm telling you where
they go in landfill, mixed recycling, or food waste.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what goes in your mixed recycling? At home?
Do I know what I put in it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, here we go. I reckon I'll get the bar's 3 out of 5. I think I can get 3 out of 5.
Okay, challenge accepted. Okay, so just for the listeners, we're going to play the game Bin It to Win It. So we're going to name 5 materials or products, and you're going to tell me whether these go into either food waste, landfill, or recycling.
Okay.
So, first item.
I'm so nervous. Okay. Yeah.
First item is a broken jandal.
A broken jandal.
It's a trick question, maybe.
Okay. I'm going to eliminate it. This is how I'm going to play this game. And this is due purely down to nerves, and I need to talk everything out loud so I don't make a complete idiot of myself. It's not going in the food scraps. I'm pretty sure about that. In fact, I'm almost a handy, so that leaves me with 2. I mean, is it just like a rubber jandle?
Yeah, just standard rubber.
I think that just goes in the
jandle.
bin. Tell me that just goes in the bin. Don't tell me it goes in the recycling.
In the bin?
Oh, yeah, I'm locking in bin.
Final answer?
Wait, hang on. No, hang on. Do I find out at the end, or do I find out now that this is?
I can tell you now if you want.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm locking in bin. Oh no.
Correct.
Oh,
good job.
Yes. Okay,
See?
I'm happy with that.
Nothing to be nervous about.
That's not. But you sure that just wasn't a softball just to get me, feeling confident, and then I'll make an absolute mug of myself in about 3 questions time. Anyway, here we go. Next one. Let's do it.
Okay. Should know this one. Chip packet.
That's a bin.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Not
No,
in the
that's good.
recycling. Does not go in curbside or mixed recycling and commercial bins either. They do.
Okay.
We do have like the soft plastics collection. If you collect them all, you can take them to participating grocers. But
I was going to say the
not in
one
your
at the grocery stores. Can you take that to there?
Mm.
You can. Okay. Yeah. No, that's what I thought. Sweet. Okay. Geez, you've got me overthinking everything now. This is good. Okay. 2 from
Just
2.
go with your gut, I would say maybe.
No, that's good advice.
Depends what your recycling bin says about you. Next one will be eggshells.
I've been told this. We literally had a conversation about this within the last couple of months because we were getting it wrong, and I can't remember what we were doing. But we don't eat a lot of eggs in our house because neither me nor my partner really like them.
Oh no!
So here we are.
Curveball.
I mean, as a kid, I'd compost them, I think. So, food scrap.
Yeah. If you think
Nice.
about it, it's a natural product. What's it doing in nature? Was created by nature.
Okay.
So,
good.
compost. Good job.
Yeah.
You're on a roll. I'm going to need to chuck in some harder ones here.
Okay. No, I don't think you do. I'm happy with these.
What about single-use diaper?
As a man that hasn't had to deal with too many of these, but I'm sure one day we'll have to. I have to admit, I don't know. But I just, they're going to have to. The idea of them being anywhere but the bin scares me slightly. So I'm going to go bin.
Yeah. Especially if it's used.
Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. I didn't. Yeah. No. To be honest, I hadn't even thought of being soiled in that way. I just kind of thought maybe. Anyway, not the point. It doesn't matter.
Because it's a multi-material product, and we just don't have the systems to separate that out. Yeah.
No. Bin. Imagine that'd be. Geez, there'd be a lot of. Now I think about it, there'd be a lot of diapers that make their way to landfill, I suppose.
Yep. Go for reusable if you can.
Yeah. Can I just say before we move on, we might have to play this game. We might have to play this game of the radio next month. This is something that I think we need in our life because this is fun. I'm into it.
Fun until you get one wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, that's right. Exactly.
Although you've already got 4, so maybe I should just go on a hard one.
Yeah, go and throw a hard one, and if I leave here with 5, at least I feel like I've lived it, and then if I leave here with 4, I still pass. That's how I'm approaching the last one.
Only win-win. Okay, for the last one, I'm going to give you batteries.
See, no, that is filthy.
This one is a tricky one.
I know you're not really supposed to put those in there. Is this a tricky?
I would say this is maybe a trick question, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I feel like you have to dispose them separately, because if you put them in the bin, that's an issue. If you put them in the recycling, I know that's an issue. Then they're not going to go in the food scraps. So where else? So you're going to have to dispose them somewhere else. We've actually got a battery disposal thing here at work, which is dangerously convenient, and that's where we dispose all of our batteries. But is that what it's called? Just a battery disposal unit?
Yeah, so we do actually dispose of them separately. It's a form of e-waste, but separate to other e-waste. So you can take them to hardware stores.
Yes,
most hardware stores like Bunnings and stuff. But yeah, sorry, that was a trick question. It wasn't food waste, landfill, or recycling.
No, that's good because it's also like car batteries, because you've got to take those to your Repcos or your mechanics. Is that right? Car batteries?
Yeah. Most auto stores. So yeah, Repco.
Yeah.
I forget all the other ones now. But yeah, I'm still going to give you a point for that one because you knew it doesn't go in any of those streams and you knew that it causes issues like fires. So
Love it. Oh, yeah, of
nice,
course.
5 out of 5.
I'll take 5 out of 5. And what was that game called? It was called Bin It or Win It or something? Bin It
Yeah,
to Win
bin
It?
it to win it.
Bin It to Win It. No, that's a keeper, mate. I want to play that again. Not now. I'm stressed.
So lots more careful. No. Yeah, I might have to make the streams or something more broad, or just have it open ended. Be like, which stream does this go into? Because like for the battery one, obviously that was a sneaky one. So
no, I like that. Good on you, mate. That was fun.
thank you so much for your time. I won't keep you longer, so that you set you free now.
Thank you for your time, and it was fun to be a part of that. So enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great to have you on. I'm looking forward to hearing how your challenge goes.
Oh, yes. No, my challenge, I will make sure that I follow through on that, and I'll keep you posted. I've got, again, I imagine Tim will make sure that I do follow through on that.
Oh, we'll hear about it properly then, if we ask.
Yeah.